What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Dusty Shaw Fitness. Want to share with you a clip from my recent 3-part interview with Big Herc on his channel, Fresh Out. Check out this clip. I'm going to include the links to each video in the description so you can go watch the full videos. Please support Big Herc's channel and subscribe to his channel as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Like and leave a comment on these videos as it helps the algorithm. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916, getting down with Fresh Out, and you're tuned in to another prison talk. I'm here with my man Dusty, and man, we're gonna get into some stories. Dusty, I know you did time in Virginia, and we haven't had a lot of people from the East Coast on our channel. Could you kind of get into like some of the crazy stuff you've seen in Virginia prisons? I don't even know if we've had anybody on the channel. Suave, that's right.
Yep.
That's right, Suave.
Because I was going to tell you,
okay,
if you hit Suave up, I guarantee you he'll validate everything I say.
Okay, yeah,
yep.
Suave, that's right. He did
Yep.
time out there.
Yep, he was at Sussex.
Okay,
I wasn't in there with him,
Okay.
but I knew who he was.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. What's some of the crazy stuff you've seen out there, man? I mean, I know the politics out there is totally different.
Yeah, it is. All right, so I went in there 2005, and at that time, there were 0 white gangs. Like I said, the whites are just looked at really weak. The closest thing you'll see is like a multiracial, like the GDs. A lot of the whites will go to the GDs, but there's no like, you don't have Woods or skinheads in Virginia. Now, the Bloods are the dominant gang. They run the prisons. They got the largest numbers, and a lot of the institutions, even the staff are Bloods are related to them. So they got it on lock.
Wow.
Yeah, so they run it. So they have their set of politics. The Mexicans' numbers are very small, but you know how they are, man. They're hard as nails, right? Yeah, so
they stick together.
Yeah, they stick together, man. And that's one thing I always wish, man. I'm like, man, why don't whites and blacks do that, man? I was like the Mexicans. They got the smallest numbers and resources, but if a Mexican comes in and he's on good, they got a care package for him, everything. How come our people don't look out for us like that?
I know.
You know?
I know.
So that's how it was. But I went in there and I went in there really young. I knew I was going, and like I said, I told you I wrestled and boxed growing up. And I trained specifically because I was, I was scared. I was scared to go to prison. Anyone at 18 years old scared to go to prison. I was level 3, gladiator school. So I was like, the best thing I can do to equip myself is to make sure I can handle myself physically as well as I can, which still don't save you. It don't matter how good you can fight because you be outnumbered.
Did you ever have anybody try to try you in there?
Yeah, at the so when I first got in, that's the other thing I want to say. I don't hear people talk about, man. The reception unit was insane. I guess because there just wasn't order yet, man.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Dusty Shaw, Holistic Fitness and Nutrition, here to share with you the top 3 lessons I've learned from incarceration. All right, if you haven't already, please go to Fresh Out. This is Big Herc's channel on YouTube. I just did a 3-part series with him, going over my life story, my time being incarcerated when I was younger, and some really good stories on there. Highly recommend you go check those out. But I figured as a follow-up to that, I would let you guys know the top 3 things I learned. And the most important part of the message is that I want any of you that's never been incarcerated to never experience this. You don't have to go there to learn these lessons. You can learn them from people like me, that had to go learn the hard way. So, but there are some really important life lessons that you can learn in there that can really help you if you choose to, look at it and experience that. Some people just completely F their time off, wasting it, just laying in the rack, getting fat, not educating themselves through reading, not getting in shape, and not reflecting on their past mistakes and looking around at others' mistakes and learning the valuable lessons of karmic debt, because it's all in front of you to see, because everybody's in there because of the karmic debt that they've built up in their life from poor choices. All right. So hopefully you can learn these lessons and not have to go there. And particularly, any of you parents that have kids, share this with them. All right. Because it is, while you can learn some really important lessons in there that can help you in life, it comes at a great cost. There does come, traumas and bad personality traits and resentments and stuff that come from it. So it's best to not have to play the game and experience this. Learn it from someone like me and make better choices. But the top 3 things I want to share with you that I learned is, number 1 is the importance of personal development. All right, so you have so much free time on yourself, and you got yourself in there by not working on personal development, because if you had, you wouldn't have made bad choices to end up there. So it's the perfect time to dive into personal development and start working on yourself, because you've got nothing but time on your hands. All right, so that's number 1 that I'm going to go over. Number 2 is you are isolated. All right, you're going to spend time in isolation. You're going to spend time in the cell by yourself. You get in trouble going in the hole. You're going to spend a lot of time alone. And a lot of people can't handle this. I'm naturally a very introverted person. And actually, let me explain something to you about the difference between introverted and extroverted. All right. Basically, an introverted person builds their energy up when they're alone. And when they're around other people, if there's a lot of social pressure, their energy is drained. An extroverted person is stressed and has their energy depleted when they're alone. Their energy builds up when they're mingling around other people in social situations. All right. So if you're an extroverted person, you're going to suffer much worse being incarcerated. It's the number 1 place I've seen people take their life is in the hole, in isolation. They just can't handle it. It drives them crazy. All right. It actually drives me more crazy to be in like a dormitory environment where it's non-stop noise and you can't get any alone time. But basically, still, even introverts like me, it is suffering when you're not choosing to be alone, when you're just, stuck there. You don't have the choice. But there's a lot of things that can be learned from solitude. So that's the second thing I want to go over. All right. And then the third thing I'm going to go over that I learned is, out here, we have so many things we can distract ourselves with. From all this technology, such as the smartphone I'm using now, this website and app YouTube that you're watching this on, to drugs and alcohol and relationships. You have so many things you can distract yourself with. And the thing is, when you're incarcerated, you have no choice but to search within yourself for answers. All right. You can't self-regulate your emotions through self-medicating, through the use of drugs, alcohol, and other addictions, because depending on where you're at, you're not going to have access to them. All right. So you're going to have to find what I found in there, which is that movement is medicine. The pump truly is the cure. All right. When you have no access to sunlight in jail, if you go to a prison, you can get out in the yard and get sunlight, but the whole time you're in jail, you're not going to have any access to sunlight, fresh air. You're not going to have access to any workout equipment. All right. But you can work out yourself. All right. You can do body movements, etc. All right. But if you just choose to lay around all day and then you're eating a horrible diet, it's nothing but terrible gas station food on the commissary, no access to good quality food. So it's no protein and fats, which is what you need. It's a bunch of carbs. So you're eating all these carbs and then you're not working out and moving. So it's a very natural, it's a perfect recipe for anxiety. And then not to mention all the stress in there. And if you got a court case coming up, there's a lot of anxiety that comes with worrying about going to court and what's going to happen to you. You're losing your freedom, your life. So anxiety is a big problem in there. And if you don't have access to drugs and alcohol or whatever you use on the outside, then you're just going to have to deal with it. All right. Now, you can either just sit there and suffer, or you can get up off your rack, hit the floor, start doing burpees, working out, and work off that anxiety. All right. So that's the third one I'm going to go over. All right. So starting back at the first one. All right. So personal development. All right. This is huge. There is no better investment than the investment in yourself. Okay. How many of us spend so much time and allocate so much of our energy and resources to investing in others, investing in a job, investing in school, whatever it is? How much do you allocate investing in yourself? That's the biggest investment, all right? And if you work on personal development, strengthening your mind, strengthening your body, strengthening your spirit, developing a set of values for your life, determining how you're going to live, living in alignment with your heart's desires. How do you want your life to unfold? It's all going to be determined by the choices you make. So you've got to come up with a set of values for your life, certain do's and don'ts, and they have to become non-negotiable. All right. So one of the big problems in my life was substance abuse. All right. Drug use. All right. And this is where most of the problems in my life came from, is self-medicating, anxiety and depression through the use of drugs. And in the beginning, they worked great. It was amazing. But it always ends bad. They will always, if you continue to use and then get to abuse, it's going to turn on you, and it's not going to work for you anymore. You cannot escape from life, check out of life, and then expect your life to turn out good. When you check out of life and you stop investing in yourself and in your life, you're going to rack up karmic debt that's going to lead to things like incarceration. All right. So just don't start on that road. And if you are on that train that's getting ready to derail, hop off. All right. Because it's going to derail. There's never been anybody that has retired successfully from drug use or drug selling. It always ends bad. All right. So that's one of the main parts of personal development, is not what you can add, but the most empowering things is what you need to take away from your life. And we all know that. The simple answer is anything that ends in regret. Any action you take that ends in regret, that is life's way of alerting you that this is something you need to stop doing. Soon as I learned that anxiety and depression are there to teach me, and they're not just some, benign thing that's just there to make us suffer. No, it's there to teach us. All right. You experience anxiety anytime you're worrying about the future. You experience depression anytime you're suffering from the past. So what do these two things have in common? You're not living in the present moment. All right. You're future tripping because you don't have control over your own mind. And if you don't have control over your own mind, you're a weak person and you're going to have a weak life. All right. So strengthen yourself by living in the moment. The best way to do this is through meditation. This mind is going on non-stop for most of you. That's why you're so addicted to social media, substance abuse, whatever your addictions and vices are, because it gives you a temporary relief, a temporary absence of thought. All right. And so you have to work on this, because otherwise you're just going through life unconsciously and you're not making decisions based on how you want your life to unfold. So since you're in there and you have nothing but time on your hands, and it's the same thing out here, whether you're in there or you're out here, we all have 24 hours in a day. How are you going to spend it? Dedicate a certain amount of time towards personal development. The best way to do it is to set out a specific amount of time. I like to do it myself and in my clients in a morning routine when you first wake up, because then it's deliberate. It's the first thing you do. It's non-negotiable. You have to do it before you can go do anything else. So you can't avoid it. Move on to number 2, the importance of solitude. Same thing with personal development. You spend so much time keeping yourself distracted because you don't have control over your own thoughts. So you want temporary relief through distractions, all right? Instead of keeping yourself occupied with social media, other people, you have got to spend some time in solitude. There's a reason that Jesus wandered off into the wilderness. There's a reason that the Buddha wandered off into the wilderness and got enlightened by himself under the tree. There's a reason that all the Hindu monks go into the mountains and meditate alone in caves for years. All right? You have to spend time in solitude if you want to develop spiritually. All right? Even if you just start out with a morning routine, getting up before your spouse or whoever else you're around, meditating, spending some time alone, it is one of the most empowering things you can do. Moving on to the third one, the importance of movement. Movement truly is medicine. All right? Anytime you're abusing drugs, alcohol, social media, any form of addiction, any vice you have, this is just temporary. And the more anything you resist will persist, as Socrates famously said. You cannot run from your mind, all right? You have to reach a place where you become in control of your mind. You have to affirm that you're in control of your thoughts instead of letting them control you. Because if you do let them control you, they will run a train on you. It's a fact that over 90% of thoughts and self-talk is negative. It is inherently negative. So rather than resisting it and fighting it, trying to be distracted from it, just simply let it be. That's why meditation is so powerful. The way to meditate: close your eyes, sit in a comfortable chair like this, or get into Vyasana, the meditation position. But the most important thing is you just focus on your breath. Focus on the inhalation and exhalation. And anytime thoughts occur, you do not try to stop them or resist them. Just let them float on by. Completely ignore them. Return your focus to the breath. And what you're doing here is you're affirming that you're in control. You're strengthening this muscle. Just like going and working out and using progressive overload, which is adding weight each time you lift and building up strength and muscle. This is a great metaphor for life. It's the same thing with your mind. If you strengthen it, it's just like a muscle. It'll become stronger. When you're incarcerated and you don't have access to drugs, alcohol, social media, no distractions, you realize that all the answers are within yourself. You do have ways of self-regulating your emotion. And the best one is exercise. If you do nothing but lay around all day, you can't be shocked when you're suffering with anxiety. You've done nothing to work it off. We have a finite amount of energy each day, and we have to allocate that appropriately. If we just lay around all day building up carbs and blood sugar and then wonder why we're anxious, here's a little thought experiment. When have you ever seen a man running a marathon or in the middle of a fight or sporting event say he was anxious or he was depressed? You'll never experience that. You'll never see that, because in those moments you are exerting yourself. You're depleting all of that negative energy, and you're in a state of one-pointedness with your thought. All right, you can't be thinking about other things while you're fighting and getting punched in the face. And the same thing with exercise. You build up that heart rate. You become focused just on the task, and you can get into a flow state. And this is very powerful. But just try it. All right, a really good thing to start with is just the recommended 10,000 steps a day. You can download an app for a step counter and just track your steps each day and commit to doing 10,000 steps a day. If you got to start out with 2,500 a day and add 2,500 every week till you build up to 10,000 steps, whatever it takes, but just make a commitment to take up a certain amount of steps every day. and you will see your mental health and your physical health improve greatly. Movement truly is medicine, and that is the third thing that I learned from being incarcerated. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you to everyone that went over to Big Herc's Fresh Out and watched my interviews. Please leave a comment on those for me, as that helps the algorithm. And for any of you that haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe, like the video, and please leave me a comment to help the algorithm. You know, I lost my big channel and had to start a new one, so I really appreciate all of you who watch this and support it and help me build my channel back up. Thank you so much.